Welcome to Virtual Play live game development streaming. We're a small indie game company in the Netherlands, making a lot of applied games, but also working on our own entertainment games. We have big plans, including a lot of new technologies and very cool new gameplay ideas. For this stream, we'll be showing the entire process of building our new game Hatchball, which is not really technically innovative, but a mashup of pinball and collecting and caring for cute creatures. My name is Stephan, and I've been programming and making games for over 30 years. When I was very young, I already had two big passions, music and computers. So I'm basically a self-taught programmer from a time before the internet and tutorials, and just studied computer science and artificial intelligence years later. Let's get started. So hi there, it's an extra stream. I see there's nobody watching yet, so I'm just talking to those people who are watching after I've streamed, which is not really that weird because I just started out. And yeah, I'm hoping that you just are looking at this to see what I did like before, and actually have well, there's a viewer here. That's pretty cool. Maybe it's somebody I know, maybe it's not, but we'll see. Anyway, I'm just gonna continue working on the game, and I felt like working on it a little bit more. Just gonna go for an hour and then continue tomorrow. A couple of hours later than now. It's gonna be like more than like 4.5 hours in a later time slot, so that's the time slot I usually use. This is just an extra one. So yeah, I'm just gonna continue working on Hatchball. For those who haven't heard it yet, it's a pinball and cute creature carrying crossover game. And then what I'm doing first is working on the pinball side of it all. So let's just go on with that. While I do this, I'll always try to explain as much as I can about what I'm doing. Last time I've come, how far did I come? Here we go. So this is what I did. I added an input scheme and added the flippers. So what we actually have here is a game that is already playable, kind of, but the thing I need now is a plunger to make sure that the ball can come back into play when it's actually lost. So first thing I'm gonna do is not create like multiple balls. I'm just gonna make sure that the ball gets back to the plunger when I use it. No, when I lose it, sorry. All right, let's see. We got Unity starting up, importing assets. That's weird, but I always think those messages are not perfectly accurate. So what I'm gonna do now is just see where we got last night, for me last night. And then I'm gonna add the plunger. Yeah, that's the bumper's working, the ball is rotating. I'm gonna need to make sure that it really rotates in 3D, because right now that's actually not looking very nice. Maybe I'll do that today as well. And then performance is really bad right now. I've probably doing this stream kind of last minute. I probably didn't shut down enough stuff, so my computer is a bit overloaded, but you see that it's actually working pretty nicely, and with the new Unity input system, so that's also awesome. Yeah, and I can actually aim pretty well. There, and now we get it. There we get it. This is not what I want. I want to be able to continue playing, so I'm gonna add two things. First thing I'm gonna add is a obstacle. This one. Obstacle going here, and that's going to be our ball saver obstacle, so it actually have a note, note X. I think that's what it is in the design. Yes, it's called X. X marks the spot. So it's a but I just edited that. All right. So this is going to be ball saver. That's what it's called in pinball terms. X. All right. Show when unselected. I need to click that and actually make it into something. Oops. There's color picker. It always ends up on my main screen, but I don't want stuff to pop up there while I'm streaming, so that's why I always have to grab it from the other screen. And then there's my label. I just need to edit this shape. For the shape, I wanted to actually block that bit as well and be able to come in here, so I might just change those around a little bit. First, just remove some. Oh, that's too much. Make this shape and then see what happens if I actually just use this as the plug for the right hand side as well. So meaning I'll just make a quick duplicate and see if I rotate it minus 90 to the right. Yeah, I can put it in there pretty easily, so that works. Which means I can just adapt my boundaries a little bit so that it matches this as well. And there we have it. So that's just a collider, but it's also it's an interactive element. It will have some nice stone, and then there's going to be some ability. Hey, I should look into that, but that's not for now. My object nodes thing. This thing is blocking the actual gutter where the ball is lost, and I'm just going to keep it in there so that we have like an infinite mode. But one thing I need is for the ball to roll to the right when it lands over here. So this river here will actually stream. Definitely not doing anything close to graphics right now, but I will create the force there. Let's see, I'll actually open on my other screen a little reference thingy that I have. I'll just keep opening that at the same time. For now, it's I'm gonna copy this, just the last bit I had, copy it over there, and that's gonna be my W thing. Then I'm gonna try to split that in two, because I want when the saver is here, I want the stream to really make sure it pushes it all the way up to this plunger. But when the ball blocker is there, the ball saver is there and blocking, and I don't want the ball to end up here and be stuck there. So I actually don't want this little part to not be included in the normal force to the right. So this river will have a force just up until there. I can make this overlap because it's not going to do anything with, oh, I can actually make it overlap more like that. It's not going to have anything to do with collisions. No, nothing like that. So this is about the shape that I need. In this, I need to, I'll change the node to W, and it's going to be blue because it's actually the water. And then this needs to have a force. To have a force acting in the physics system in Unity, I need to make this a trigger and say it's used by an effector. There's no effector yet, but I will make sure that there is by putting it on there. An area effector, yes, that's what I need. So let me just move that a little bit. This force, I have no idea about on the force magnet. I should have an idea. Maybe 10 is even okay-ish. But I think it needs more than that. Let's put it to around the same that I did with the bumpers and just see how fast the ball goes. I'm going to give it some variation. Let's say half of that. And the angle should, I think it should be pointed up a little bit, like in that direction, so that the ball doesn't like just, it should be like as if it floats, so that the gravity there is actually kind of a little bit different. So I think I need something like that. Yeah, that's about it for the force. That should do it. So this area now acts as a force in like towards up and right. That will slowly but steadily bring the ball back there. And now I'm gonna actually change the name. Force W. Do I need a prefab for forces? I don't think so. And I'm gonna split it in two, so it's gonna be W1 and W2. Alright, W2 going here, and that's gonna be the second part. So starting here, running all the way through there, so that actually will always bring the ball back neatly into the plunger lane. I'm gonna put a little bit like back so that it will just let the ball go over there. And then also, if they both act on the ball at the same time, it's gonna have a hitch here. Let's see how big the ball is now, because I'm gonna need this ball to, once it loses that one, oh, I did it pretty well. It should enter that one so that it's always overlapping with one of them, and they will take them on. All right. I could also let them overlap and just have it be like a flow thing, but I think it's nicer if it's just always the same. Little bit of force. Well, let's try this out first. Now I can commit it, and oh, the ball's in the wrong position now. Well, I could already see that it was moving, so that's one good thing, but I don't know how well it is moving, like if it's doing the force that I approximately want. I'm gonna drop the ball from there and then see if it's doing what I want. Whoa, that's quite a lot of force. Okay, so it needs a little less. All right, so let's see. We've got 30 now. I'm gonna half it. This variation, I don't exactly know. Add it to the magnetizing force. I don't know what that variation actually does exactly, so I should look into that at some point. But yeah, if it does what I want, then I'm not going to spend so much time on that right now. Right, so good. Right, that seems okay, but usually water would have there it is, damping. So I actually think I might have been right about the 30, but I want some damping in there. So let me think. Damping is probably in the order of, like, drag is in the order of like 1 or 2 or stuff like that. I'll make it 2 and see what that does, because the water will take the ball along, but it won't like accelerate it all the time. There's something going on there. Huh, that's weird. I'm using my iPhone as a camera, so ta-ta, that's strange. All right. So there, yeah, of course it's mirrored, yeah. That's because I got it mirrored so that if I look that way, and I can just point in the right direction. All right. What I was checking, I didn't actually see it happen now because of the pop-up thing. And there we go. Next time I should just put my iPhone too. Yeah, that looks pretty okay. Maybe overshooting it a little bit. So, but I do want it to be there in case like the ball gets just over here. I need it to be there. So maybe I just need this last bit to have a little bit less force, or just more damping. More damping might do it. Right. Now I'm gonna need this actual plunger. Right, let's see. I'll save the scene. It's probably saved already, but and then I'm gonna commit this. Just change the scene, so no real files or some new files or something. Let's see. Adds water stream force. There we go. Pushing it. All right, and then I'll continue working on this meanwhile. Let's see, what next I need is the plunger. Just gonna take a simple obstacle and edit it again. All right, so what's this gonna be? It's gonna be A. It's gonna be the plunger. And it's gonna be purple-ish, but dark enough so that this becomes white text. And then I'm gonna edit the polygon, of course. Not even sure that I need that part, but for now it'll look nice. No, I don't want to do that. I'm just gonna do it like this. There's no reason to have these extra bits in there. The ball's never gonna be over there. All right, so that's enough. Actually, just need 1 point here. All right, is this a bit? Okay, well, because I want it to be exactly symmetrical, I'm going to change these points to manual things. 0.1. No, I want this to be in the center, and that point as well. 0, 0. And then let's see, that one has to be as far to the right as this one is to the left. So let's say 1.7, and here minus 1.7. Now these are exactly the same as far apart as the other. 0.85, 0.85. Now they're also aligned in that direction, and this one doesn't really matter. I can actually change that however I want that. All right, nice round things, but the most important thing now is that it's exactly in the center and it's really symmetrical. Probably really doesn't matter at all, but I just want that thing to be greatly predictable. Right. Why does it pop back? All right, here we go. It's got a color now. So next only thing that I need is to build the interaction. Well, I know how to do that, and I'm gonna create a Plunger script. Getting created right now. It's gonna be here, so I need to move it to scripts. All right, and then of course, again, giving it its icon. It's warm here. Ta-dum. There, plunger. Other icon. I'm picking the plunger. Right, there it is. And it's recompiling again. I'm still not sure why it does that after changing the icon, but yeah. All right, so what we have here now is a special thing. So I'm gonna put the icon. I thought I changed the name of this object. Well, doing it again. Plunger A. Gonna put the Plunger script to the top so that it will show the icon as the main gizmo. There we go. You see it's nicely rendered there. All right. What does Plunger need to do? It needs to accept some input. Let's go into the script. I did preload Visual Studio, so it should run pretty fast, and it does. Plunger. So what we need again is a input method. Input. And what was it again? It's the callback context. Yes. Context. And that's basically that thing that I need there. If contexts, let's say first one is started, that's button down, and then context cancelled. All right. Okay. Let's see. We got when it comes down, we want actually to do kind of the same thing as with the flipper, but then with translation. So what I can do is just copy all this stuff and adapt it, because there's a lot of this I can reuse. Don't need the side, but I'm gonna copy this and put it over this. Bang, there we go. So there's no sides, so I'm just gonna remove that here. Then no sides and no sides. Whoop, okay. So the difference now is that it won't get an angular velocity, but a normal, like directional, just translational velocity, and the velocities will be super much less. Let's see, up 30, down 50. No, up is going to be quite a lot more. 100 and down 15. Let's just look at that first, and then max displacement, and that's the amount of displacement I want to have over the y-axis. Let's just see how much that needs to be. Yeah, I know there's lots of stuff going on here. So that's 35.3, and we'll probably want to let it go back all the way into the mouth of the animal that's there. What was it again? A chameleon? 37.8, 35.3. All right, so is that 37? All right, so that's 2.5. 2.5. And then min angle will be, I'll just rename it to like start position, and that will be my, it will be a, no, actually let's just leave it at a float. It's just going to be the start y. I did not do rename there. Ah, now I did. Start y. And my computer is super slow again. Hopefully I'll get some kind of nice capturing rig or something in the future. But that's going to be once we can get back to the office. Which I'm just doing it from home now, like everyone. Right, so it's not rotation anymore. It's going to be position dot y, and yes, I'm actually going to do one more variable here so that it's not a calculation every time, and y is start y minus max displacement. All right, so instead of rotating here, I'm going to, let's start with the input thing. If I press it down, it's going to be awake and active, and then its normal velocity will be the down velocity with a minus, and then once I'm gonna stop it, it's gonna be the up velocity. Now velocity is a vector, so I need to change that. a vector 2, and there's going to be a vector width. Thank you for following. That's nice. Awesome. This is our, yes, these are our displays, our velocities up and down, and then that's not minus, up velocity. So if I press it, its velocity will go down, will be the down velocity with a minus sign, so it goes down, and then when I let it go again, it will go up. If it's active, and here we go with this part, the not rotation but position dot y is bigger than smaller than end y because it's going down. Then I'm gonna put its velocity to 0 and its position should be its position, but then with the y changed. That's going to be end y. Oop. Oh, it's just a 2D game. I was going into 3D already. All right, so velocity is 0, vector 2.0. Same here. So it's not the angular velocity, but it's the velocity, and its position when I go past start y will be start y. Same as with the flippers. I wanted to go past it one little frame, so that's why I use late update. So next frame it will be in that position. All right, that should do it for the plunger. Now I just need to make sure that it gets input. Compiling. Boop. Don't know what that was, but nice. Errors are gone. Plunger is here. These are the up and down velocities and the max displacement. And then I only need to give it the input from the input system. Event, player event, plunger, and it will have plunger in there and call the function input. Nice. So let's try this out. I have no idea on the speeds. Oh, there's no rigid body yet. Forgot that one. All right, needs a rigid body. Rigid body 2D. It will be dynamic. It needs to be, yeah, rubber is good, I guess. Rubber. It is not dynamic, it's kinematic. It is simulated though. It uses the same as the other things, continuous interpolated collision detection. And then the other thing I did not do, I did, of course, because it's an obstacle. It does not rotate, and there we go. Actually, it does not move in the X direction as well. So that should be the plunger. Let's see if now it does work. Ooh, that goes really quickly. I see that my blocker up there is blocking even when the ball is still here. That makes sense because I drew it. Yeah, that goes way too fast. I want the plunger to go down like real nice and have this like slow pull and then come up nicely quickly, but not that hard. So I'm gonna like divide it by 3, something like that. Might be okay. That's the feeling. Let's see. Ooh, sorry. Right, here we go. Ooh. I forgot something. Of course. The up velocity should be dependent on how far you pull it back. So I don't know what happened. Should I? I should multiply the up velocity by the displacement, then it gets to be like the thing I did up to 2.5 times that. So let's do that. Hold on, what happened here? I'm going to split Visual Studio. I've got some reference stuff there. Where's the other one? Huh. Thought I did that, but I didn't. Well, let's just keep going then. Here's Visual Studio back. Yes. So the up velocity should not just be the up velocity, but it should be multiplied by the difference between the, let's see, max, what is it, like the end? No, the start, of course. So it's resting position and the actual Y position. Am I doing this in the right direction now? Start Y minus something smaller. That's like minus 35 minus. I think it should be the other way around. One way to find out. Destroying it, but minus a lot, minus less. I actually did it right. All right. That should be it. It's going slow today. I mean my computer, it's not me. All right. I should drop it into the plunger lane for next tests. That's better. Seems okay. And now pull it back further. Doesn't seem to have that much of an effect yet. But then again, it's not running super smooth. Well, I'll tweak all that later when we have when we actually get to the skill shot part. All right. Next, I actually have to get rid of that thing. So what I'm gonna do is put two little triggers next to it. They actually will be Z 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, I guess. Z was sensors in our game design, so I'll actually put a sensor here. Oh, put a sensor here. Sensor Z1, and then it's going to be one on Z7. I mean, it's going to be one here and one on the other side. Yep. Like when it enters this area, the obstacle will go away. When it enters the other one, it should restart, like be replaced there. But I think there's one thing missing here, and that is that over here, when there's a ball here and the ball over here, and they somehow, the one ball passes here and the other one over there, there's gonna be a problem. I'm gonna have to think about that one. That'll be a hard one to fix. Well, right now I'm gonna make this a little bit more purple than the plunger. Yeah, that's gonna be a toughie to fix. Let's just think about how we will fix that. Maybe there needs to be another layer for the ball. I'm pretty sure there needs to be another layer for the ball. The plunger layer. And we won't need this one. We'll only need one once it exits the plunger layer, so that it will change layers. Yes, that's what I'm gonna do. All right, so this sensor here is wrong. Haha. It should totally overlap this thing, and then we should say two different things. Okay, so there's this layer changing mechanic that I'm going to need. Well, mechanic, it's not a game mechanic, but this layer changing technique that I'm gonna need to do. That is, once it exits this thing, it's gonna be in between layers. Let's think. Yeah. All right, I'm gonna add this layer. The layer is, it's not so nice that I have that down there, but yeah, I'm not gonna be able to fix that. Plunger ball, no, balls 0. Plunger. And then balls 0, 1. And I'm going to go into my physics settings to make sure that it doesn't collide with anything that it does not need to collide with. All right, so what I did before is make sure that balls 1 layer collides with balls 1 and 2 layer and obstacles 1 layer and nothing else. I'm gonna do the same for these new balls things. That should do it. Let's see, balls 0 do collide with balls 0. Balls 0, 1 collides with balls 0. Balls 0, 1 collides with balls 0, 1. And balls 0, 1 collides with balls 1. That's the important one. And then it does not collide with obstacles. And there we've got a little problem. Yes, I'm actually this is gonna be a little bit different than the other one. Balls 0 is actually gonna collide with obstacles 1, so that it actually will collide with the no collision 0. That's what I'm gonna call another layer. I think this is the only way to really fix it. No collision 0 means it will collide only with balls 1. Yes. Okay, and that's where I'm gonna put this obstacle. It's actually, this is the ball blocker, right? Yeah. That's the plunger lane return blocker. We call it C. Actually gonna give it an object note. C. And this one will be in the new layer, no collision 0, which means that ball, as long as it's here, it will collide with the sides. Ball needs to start in balls 0 then. That's the plunger lane. And once the ball gets up there, goes up here, and gets into this detector, then it should change its layer to the in-between layer, which also doesn't collide with. The only thing that this collides with is if the ball is actually in layer 1, which it will get to once it actually exits this. So I'm thinking about where to place these sensors to be logical. So what we get here is a system of layers. First, it goes in. It needs to be not in layer. It will be in the plunger lane layer. Okay, layer 0. And then it needs to get into a sensor which changes it to. I could actually just change it into layer 1, and there's no problem with that at all. Oops. The other one, this one. This is going to be fine. That's nice. So as soon as it exits, exits this one on the left side, we should make sure that that is something we can check. If it exits this one on the left side, then it's it has to put the ball into layer 1 so that it will collide with this thing. It needs to really exit, so let's just make sure that it does by putting this a little bit further. There's nothing else going on here, so that will be fine. Alright, so let's say the ball does exit this thing. If it will exit because it just did not get high up enough and it will fall back, then we don't want it to go into layer 1. So what we actually want to do is, once it exits this sensor but also is on the left, so we can do that by placing another sensor there. 7B. Let's change these colors, by the way. Whoop. And why not? Oops. To change, but it's, oh yeah, it does. They're overlapping, of course. I'm just gonna move this so that its pivot is actually somewhere that I can see the difference between the two. It's a bit shitty. I wish they'd make a function to just move the entire polygon. I guess I could make that myself. But... Right, that's the one, and this is the other, and the other should be edited so it is outside of this area. Okay, so don't need all these bits, just something like that. Yeah. All right, so if the ball totally exits sensor A while it is in sensor B, then where's the, oh yeah, okay, it's just not show when it's selected. All right, I want to show all these things. Okay, so A, it enters A, nothing happens. If it once it exits A, these should be triggers, by the way, otherwise they'll just collide. Once it exits A, it will check, am I actually overlapping with B? Then I'll change to layer 1. So these should be in layer 1 because that's where they, otherwise this one will just, it won't collide with. Return blocker C, where is it? There. I'm going to put it over here so that's next to the other ones. It is in no collision 0 layer, which means it will collide only with layer 1. Now for some logic. Let's call this, am I going to make some kind of generic sensor thing? Yeah, let's think about that, because it should be some kind of activator. I'll have use for it later, so I'll call it target activator. There's a new script called target activator, which I did, I think, foresee and make a sprite for an activator. So then I'll have a gizmo. Ba-bum. Target activator. Icon. Yes, that's the one I made. All right, so now I'm just gonna have to make these. I think I did not put something, turn something off. Yeah, that's. What's running that making my computer so slow? Last time it was pretty okay. Huh. I think it's maybe a virus scan. I'm not gonna turn my virus scan off. Sorry, not gonna do it. All right. So this has a target activator. I'm gonna drag it up all the way up to here. Come on, you can do it. There. Now we'll have the nice icon there. And I will make a script that does what I said it should do. It needs to. Oh, this is actually not a target activator, because this thing will just change layers. I'm so sorry, but I'm not going to use this script on this object. This needs a layer transition, level transition, level transition. I had something like that planned as well. So I've got an icon for level transition as well. Because there's a lot of places there that the ball is going to transit between levels. Transfer between layers. Level transition. Ah, I'm opening it instead of putting it in the right spot. Level transitions into scripts. Level transitions gets its own icon. Might be my computer just runs warm. It's a laptop, and I'm getting a cool cooling pad somewhere next week, I think, I hope. So that might help as well. All right, so level transition. What am I going to do with level transition? It's gonna change the ball that enters or exits into a different layer. So what I need in this script, which I can open, is a couple of layers. Well, now we get to layer masks. Unity layer masks are a bit itchy, or I might call it, because they're actually bit masks, and while the layer that you check for is actually just an integer, which is not the same as the bit, but it's the number of the bit, so blah blah blah. There's a lot of things going on there, but I'm gonna need a couple of layer masks. So let's see, I'm gonna need the outside or the pre-layer. No, let's think. I'm going to go into a layer as a transition, so let's call it outside and inside, because there's going to be somewhere in between. I'm going outside layer. I need the type layer mask outside layer. I just do that because then I won't get a compiler warning. Layer mask transition layer. I don't know if I need that right now, but I think I will in some other cases where I change. For instance, when I'm going up to the I will need it. Won't I? No, in this case I won't. Sorry, I'm just thinking out loud. I won't need a transition layer in this case, but I will need it when balls go up to another platform and another one comes up and this one comes down. They need to be able to touch each other. In this case, it's just about hitting one obstacle or not. So I won't need it for this one. So let's just start simple first. I'm going to need to calculate their IDs. That's what I'm going to do. And then for now, I'm gonna couple. Yeah, let's just do that. I need my awake method to be able to calculate those IDs. So I did write a helper function for that sometime. You can find that or just yeah, I got it here. I'll copy it into this project. Layer mask extensions. Right. What this does is just give me an extra function that will get a single layer from a layer mask. The first one that is in the layer mask. Thing with layer masks is there's no picker for a single layer in Unity editor as far as I know. What it does is just calculate in a very well efficient way what the first layer mask is that is selected in the layer by comparing bits. Don't need to understand that right now, but it's just I can use it and it will work. So now I'm actually going to use it in this. Oh, it's the wrong one. Level transition thing. Hold on, that's not nice. This is level transition. That was a weird one. All right, so what I'm going to do here is outside layer ID. Oops. Will be the outside layer dot to single layer. That's the extension method I just imported. Same for transition layer. And then I have calculated both my IDs, which I need to compare with if I'm going to do this on trigger stuff. I might actually want just to make two different kinds of level transition classes. I think I'm just gonna call this differently because it's not level transition and just like the thing I'm gonna do on the ramps. I will make a new script. I will call it blocker activator. And that's actually something that also brings the ball into a different layer. I don't have a icon for that yet. I can make an icon, but that's just, I want to stop in a little bit anyway, so blocker activator. All right, blocker activator will have this code that I just made, but then without the transition layer. No transition layer, because it's gonna need just the after layer. After layer ID. All right, and now I can just use the on trigger exit 2D method, and let's see. So if it exits and it's not in the other one, so I'm gonna need to somehow put something on the other. Come on. Yes, something on the other sensor as well. So this one will have. Remove the level transition thing. I'll put the blocker activator on here. Put it up there just for when I make. So this is the thing with layer masks. You can just do layer mask. I can say the after layer is balls 1. I don't need that balls 0, 1 layer actually. That's going to be a little bit of an issue, but maybe I can reuse it sometime later. Okay, as blocker activator, and it's going to balls 1, so that once it exits, but then I also need to know the other sensor that needs to have activated. So if I go back to my script, I need to know if it's in the other thing. Can I do that more efficiently than having that thing be an actual trigger itself? Nah, I think I'll just do that. It's more reliable. Now let's see, this is gonna be the blocker activator needs another thing, and the other thing will be the blocker activator post. What will I call this? Blocker exit sensor. So that will be in the same space with blocker. And I'll put it on there. Blocker exit sensor. This is some nasty logic here. In case you're not new at programming and physics is going to be like, what the hell is this guy doing? All right, so this one will just have a reference to all the balls that are in there. List of colliders. What's the simplest thing I can get? Is it with collision? Is the collider? No. Oh, hang on. This is the other collider already. If I can get a list of all the colliders that overlap this collider, I don't need anything else here. I can just say this requires a collider. I don't need this. That's quite okay. So what I was doing, I was thinking, how can I mark that thing to be the actual exit? I wanted to put an extra script on there, but it's not necessary because I can check the colliders it's actually intersecting with at the point that it exits. So that's a lot more convenient. Here we go. That script is missing. It needs to be removed. Yes, I'm removing it. All right. So going to go back, blocker activator. I'm going to have a reference to the collider 2D that is the exit area. And then I'm going to check if the collider Oh, I'm gonna have to get a list of results. Okay, that's fine. List of colliders, overlap. All right. I think I have to initialize it. I'm not sure. Let's see what it says. Results. Yeah, it needs that. So it's going to put all the colliders that overlap here into results. Contact filter. Let's see. Equals or reference equals. Okay, equals. And then the overlap. I haven't ever used this. Oh, hold on. It's an actual object. All right, so actually going to go into some documentation here. See what that does. Overlap collider. Content filter. The array to receive results. Okay. What does the contact filter do? No filter. That's easier. I don't want to filter. Contact filter to the .no filter. It's weird that it doesn't have this. It's a function. If you don't want, then use no filter. All right. That's not what I'm gonna need. New contact filter then. Super weird here. It's not really a very clear explanation here. Here we go. With overlapping areas. It refers back to the same thing. Well, that's super easy then. I'll just do this. No contact filter. I guess that's okay. I hope that's okay. I have never used a contact filter. Why would we need a contact filter? So if there's any collision, then we'll check the overlaps for that's a collider in overlap. I don't like implicit var. I really never use var. I want to be able to read my code and see what everything is. I really don't like var. For that reason, I also tend to not like some languages that use only var. Let's see, collider. If collider is exit area, then we know we actually are exiting. And so we should go to collision dot game object dot layers is going to be the after layer ID. All right. Am I correct about this? I should think so. It's a hard one. Let's just check it. Let's just try it out. But the ball is not in the right position yet, I think. Let's see. The ball is there. It was a test for the forces, but I'm now going to do the plunger test with that actual object. Let's see if I get somewhere. Yep. Where is my ball? What happened there? I put it here. Ah, it's not rendered. Of course, my cameras are now not rendering this new layer because I use that stuff. Yes. All right. There it is. I could have seen that. Whoa, it went through, but does it now live in the wrong layer? I could see that because now it should. Oh, it doesn't. Too bad. All right. I'm gonna need to do some checking here. I'm gonna put some debug here. Ooh. I'm gonna see here how many overlaps I'm actually getting. Ah, I know what's happened. I did not set that thing yet. That's quite dumb. But okay. Exit area, there it is. I did check it. It probably already worked. I hope. And then I just did not set the exit area yet. Alright. Now it should have changed. It says 1 in the lower left hand. You can't see that because I'm sitting in front of it. 1. And then it did indeed change nicely to the right layer. Alright. Only thing left to do is change it back to like a plunger lane layer once it's in the plunger lane. And that is just going to be 7B, 7C, I guess 7C. There we go. It's a 7C. I don't know where still sensor there. Yes, 7A, 7B, 7C, and 7C should just go wherever in this entire thing. Over here it might still return. No, it will not. If it's in the plunger lane, it needs to be in the plunger lane, so I'm just gonna edit the shape here. And it will be over here. So is there any way that the ball could return here and get back to that thing before coming here? I don't think so. So this is good. That's at 7C. I want the pivot to be in the center. I'm sorry, but I'm just gonna move all this again and again, because I want the pivot to be in the center. I need to keep thinking about that before I change the shape. It'll save me some time later. Right. What that thing needs to do is, it's going to be super simple sensor. Layer changer. And the only thing it does is when a ball enters, where anything enters, it will change to a specific layer. Layer changer goes to scripts. There we go. Layer changer. And let's see about my blocker activator. Does kind of the same stuff, but then differently. I'll just copy this and change it to what I need it to be. It's going to be faster than rewriting it. So let's say it's not an after layer, but it's a target layer. And that's the target layer ID. And we don't need an exit area. It's on trigger enter to the, I don't need to do anything else but set the collision game object layer to target layer ID. That should do it. So if it's already on there, I did place it on there indeed. All right, it's on there. I'll place it to the top, and then I'll say target layer is plunger. That's where it should go. All right. Why is return blocker C actually still called return blocker C? It should be C. Yes. Save, play, and there we have it. Now it should work repeatedly. It goes through, so now it's in the correct layer, and I'm letting the ball through. Now it should be back in layer that it can go through again. Yes. Well, I'm not gonna get that done now, but if the ball would somehow enter back there, it would definitely be blocked by this thing now. Cool. There's this other thing that I could do with these, and that is just let them only be triggered just for yeah, then I need an extra layer. The ball's not going to be there that often, so I'm just going to leave it at that. Okay, well, that's a little bit more. So we got water, moving the ball back, a plunger. So we have actually got a complete pinball game now. If stuff would score, then we'd get points and we can keep playing. It's an infinite one because the ball will always get back. But that's actually quite nice to start. Oops. That's something I need to fix. Should put it on my bug list. I'll start a bug list next time. But I can keep playing now, so that's really nice. There's a skill shot. Ooh, yes it is. I want those rollovers. Oh, wow. Yeah, it's a bit slow now in responding. It's probably because I'm streaming. I'll tweak all those values so it feels nice. Oof. That's really bad. Well, anyway, I'm a bit further now and ready for the next challenge. I think this was quite challenging already. The thing that I'm next gonna have to do is the layer transitions. Oh wow, this performance is really bad. The layer transitions onto the top layer. I think I'm gonna do that next, and that's gonna be tomorrow. Then tomorrow at 8, like regular scheduling, 8 European time, or 6 p.m. Like universal time, aka 11 a.m. Pacific time, or 2 p.m. or 4 p.m. 2 p.m. Eastern time. So I'll be back in just over a day. Thank you for watching. If you want to drop a like, please do so, and subscribe on YouTube or follow on Twitch. For YouTube, if you want to get a notification when I get online again, you have to also press that bell icon these days. So if you want to be notified when I do something new or publish a new tutorial for that matter, you'd have to put that bell icon on so you won't miss anything. Of course, there's also the possibility of becoming a Patreon. I will mention that every time. It's hopefully going to be someday that we'll get some traction, and let's just see how it goes. For now, I'm just building this really nice game. I love it. I'm going to do more of it again tomorrow. And as usual, I'm also going to end with my little bit of music that you probably heard by now, or not. I'll just, I don't know. See you tomorrow in what's going to be, let's say, like 3 hours after the time that it is now. Bye-bye.